Hello everyone and welcome back once again to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. We finally got our hands on a nice study level airliner for Microsoft Flight Simulator, after quite a long wait I must say. I was originally going to wait for the PMDG to release so I could pick that one up right away, but at the time I bought this aircraft it seemed the 737 would have to wait for a little while longer, but I still really wanted to try out one of the other great aircraft that came out for the sim. And so I decided to go with the recently released JustFlight 146. We are currently parked at Brussels Airport and we are going to fly to Bergen in Norway in this beautiful TNT livery, which is so far probably one of my favorite liveries for this aircraft. We are hauling some freight today with the cargo variant of the 146, so it should be a nice little flight. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you never miss out on any new content, of course. You definitely don't want to miss all the 737 and Mad Dog videos that are still on the way, so be sure to support the channel, and thanks to all the people who have already done so. Also thanks for your patience guys, the 146 has been out for over a week now, and I'm kind of late to the party, but regardless I hope you will still enjoy the video. Now without further ado, let's jump into the cockpit. So guys, welcome inside the flight deck of the beautiful British Aerospace 146. As you can see on your screen, I recently installed a webcam in order to make my videos a bit more personal. So if you've been following me around on Instagram and all of that, you will probably already have seen me at least once. But if you haven't, hello there. So yeah, let's get this aircraft started without further ado. So as you can see, we are still in a cold and dark state. I haven't touched anything on the overhead or anything like that. The only thing I've done is I've set all of the payload figures in the EFB here that comes with the aircraft. So we are taking 16,335 pounds of fuel. I've set it in pounds instead of kilograms as well. And with a gross weight of 92,670 pounds. So that's what we are taking with us today. I've connected the ground power and opened up some of the doors as well. But other than that, I haven't touched the aircraft at all. So we'll go ahead and start powering up the aircraft, shall we? So yeah, we'll go to the overhead panel first. Start with the two batteries, like so. And you do have to do quite a lot on the overhead panel, it seems, at first. So we'll try to do somewhat of a flow here, but I'm still getting used to this aircraft. It's only my second flight, so bear with me here. We'll start with the bus ties, we'll close those, and we'll also arm the standby inverters and standby generator. That one seems already to be armed, so that's good. Down here, galley power can go on as well. Flight deck emergency lights can be armed as well. Fasten seatbelt signs. The aircraft is fueled, so we can turn that on as well. Ice detection can be turned on as well. All of the window heats and probe heats can be turned on as well. That's good. Cruising altitude today will be flight level 310, but the pressure thingy here only goes to about flight level 300, so we'll just set it there. That's fine. Packs and air conditioning can stay off for now. On the left panel, there's nothing we need to change either, so we'll go to the upper overhead panel now. Nav lights can go to high intensity. No smoking lights can go on. Cabin emergency lights can be armed. Everything else is good. Down here, all of the hydraulics can stay off as well. We can turn on the anti-skid and turn on the lift spoilers as well, and also set the brake fan to auto. Everything else is good. We can turn on the yaw damper and autopilot master as well. Avionics are on as well. So that's everything for the overhead panel. Down here we'll turn on the radio and see if this actually works. We'll give that a second while we move over to the pedestal here. All of this can stay off. We can actually we need to turn on the avionics probably, so there we go. I've kind of forgotten how I'm supposed to change the transponder, but that's not really important in today's flight. But yeah, so like you can see right now, I'm still kind of figuring out this whole aircraft, so yeah. For some reason, the transponder did work in the last flight, so don't know what I'm doing different this time, but it's probably something with the avionics switches. I've got some keys on my yoke bound to the avionics master, so maybe that's the problem. Maybe that fixed it? No? Oh well, that's not really important. Let's just move on, shall we? Oh yeah, that might be. Maybe we need to turn on the radios. No, still not. Okay, fine, whatever. It is what it is. So we'll go to the FMC here. Go to flight plan page. We are departing from Brussels Airport today, which is Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo. And like I said earlier, we are taking this aircraft to Bergen Airport in Norway, which is Echo November Bravo and Romeo, like so. Flight number today will be Tango Alpha Yankee. Where's the Yankee? There it is. 850. I've just made up this flight plan because for some reason I wasn't able to find actual TNT Airways flights, at least not for the British Aerospace 146. So I was able to find all of the different aircraft that were in the fleet, but for some reason there wasn't a list of the actual destinations. So I just chose a destination myself, and I thought Bergen is quite a nice airport to fly to. I really love flying to Norway because it has so many nice airports there. So yeah, that's why I picked Bergen Airport, and that's what we are going with today. But if you know actual real life flights, do let me know down below in the comments. I would love to know. So yeah, we'll go to the departure and arrivals page. And we are departing from runway 01 today on the NIC 5F departure. So 5 Foxtrot. That's this one right here, the November India Kilo 5 Foxtrot departure. Execute that. We'll go back to the flight plan page. Next page, and from there we are going to take the L191 airway. Lima 191. We are taking that to the VPilot waypoint. So, like so. From there we will be taking the November 873 airway with a final waypoint of Bedum. From there we are going to go direct to Juiced, which is actually the Dutch word for right. Fun fact there. And by right I mean when something is correct. In Dutch we say that's juist. So there's a fun little fact for you if you're not a native Dutch speaker. And we are taking that airway to the INSAS waypoint. Like so, and then direct to AMSIF. I have no idea if I can actually link my SimBrief account to this FMC. That would be pretty nice. That would spare us all of this. But yeah, I haven't figured that out yet. But maybe I should do that in my spare time. But yeah, for now we'll just load in the flight plan manually. Nothing really wrong with that anyway. So yeah, execute that back to the arrivals page. And we are approaching the airport via the Badap to Papa arrival, which is this one right here. And we are taking that to the ILS Whiskey for runway 35 with the Godit transition. Can execute that. Then we'll go to the legs page and we'll check if there aren't any discontinuities in the flight plan, which most of the time there are quite a few. There's the first one. Another one right here. And that should be all of them. Yeah, that's all of them. So that's the flight plan loaded. This FMC is still pretty basic in its current state, so that's pretty much everything you can do. There's no performance page or anything like that, so we'll just leave that as it is for now. So that's everything we need to do for the FMC. Let's think about what we need to do next. Oh, you know what? I know why the transponder isn't turning on, because we never connected the external power. That's why. I think if we go, there we go. There's a transponder. Okay, so I'm just going to set that to, let's say, 1750, I don't know, close enough to our flight number, I guess. And we'll enter that in. So yeah, that's everything set there. And the next thing we'll do is probably we'll take a look at the weather. Hopefully we didn't drain the batteries of this aircraft by waiting with the external power for so long, but let's hope everything's still fine. And yeah, METAR here. Let's take a look. I actually didn't know this before, that you could look at the METAR report via this live weather thing here, but it's actually quite handy when you figure it out. So Brussels International here, that window can be closed. So let's see here, wind is coming from 070 at 8 knots, so pretty calm wind. Don't really know how to translate this. Cav okay, so practically no clouds. Temperature 18 and a dew point of 2, I think that means. And then the altimeter, which is the most important thing, is 1027, so we'll set that over here. The altimeters in this aircraft are synced, so we only have to set it once. And no sig means no significant weather thingy, so that probably means that there's not much weather to take into account, and that's also confirmed by the very clear skies above Brussels right now. Also, we have a nice little C-17 over there and a Lufthansa 777. We are currently parked at the cargo ramp here at Brussels, so over there is the terminal, and runway 1 is all the way back there, so it will be quite a long taxi, I presume, but we'll be fine. So we've done the weather, we've set the FMC, so I think it's probably time to brief the departure and the taxi for us. So for the time being, this tablet can also disappear out of our face. We don't need that. That makes the view a little bit more clear. And let me go to OBS here and show you guys the charts for today's flight. So here we have Navigraph here on our screen, and we'll take the airport chart here. As you can see, there we are parked at the cargo stand. Runway 01 is over here, so we'll taxi via Alpha 6, cross runway 07 left, Bravo 8, then probably via the outers, and we'll take a little cheeky shortcut here to the inners, follow that all the way to here, to Sierra 6, cross runway 07 right, and then to holding point Delta 2, where we will depart from runway 01 on the NIC 4 Foxtrot departure, which is this one right here. Initially we'll fly a runway heading until we are above 700 feet, then we'll track 008 degrees until we are above 1700 feet, after which we will go direct to the Niki VOR, which is 117.4, so we'll set that here in the radio. 117.4, like so. So that should give us a DME reading once we get in the air. Right now it's not showing anything, but that's fine. Initial altitude of flight level 60. So we'll set that. Don't forget to arm the altitude in this aircraft. It's one of those old aircraft that doesn't level off automatically, so that's something you do need to take into account as well. And our transition altitude today is 4,500 feet, so we'll take a note of that. And once we get in the air, we'll just keep an eye on our altimeter. So that's everything for the MCP. We can turn on the flight directors now. everything else is set, we can just go heading mode initially. Oh yeah, we still need to set heading as well. So we're departing from heading 010 initially. And also something we can do is we can set this to RNAV here. So now the CDI will display the course of the flight plan that is in our FMC. Otherwise it would follow the VOR, which is not what we want. We want to use the FMC, of course, because it's an option, so yeah. And that's everything we probably need to do to get this aircraft started. As you can see, not the most long startup process, but still. So what we can do now is probably start thinking about closing the doors and also turning on the APU. So to do that, we turn on the left inner fuel pump and we'll start the APU. So there we go. APU should be starting, RPM is increasing, and we should see the EGT start to increase there. Sorry, the TGT I mean. And we'll turn on the APU air and the pack for just a short while. We'll be starting the engines very soon, but for now it can stay on. And don't forget to turn on the APU generator as well. I forgot that during my first flight and then the whole aircraft shut down. Luckily the flight plan wasn't deleted from the FMC, but yeah, do keep that in mind. Once the APU has started, a APU avail light should be there. There we go. So turn on the generator. That's all the way forward, so 2 clicks. And normally we should be able to turn off the external power now. There we go. External power is removed, and we can also put away the ground power unit. Let's see if the brakes have enough pressure. They do, so we can probably also remove the chocks. Close the side cargo door, and the stairs should be retracted as well, but for some reason that doesn't happen unless you turn on the AC pump, and we'll turn on the DC pump as well, just to make sure. So back to the tablet. Stairs are being retracted, and once that's happened, we can also close the forward passenger door. Like so, you can hear the stairs in the background there. Forward passenger door is closed. Now it's closed. So tablet can disappear. Once more, there we go, the nice flight attendant there. Don't know what a flight attendant is doing on a cargo flight though, but we'll just go with it, I guess. So yeah, as far as I can see, we've done all the necessary steps to be able to start this aircraft. So just before we do that, we'll call up the pushback truck here. Pre-plan the push. Oh my god. I've just realized I forgot to put away the tablet once again. My bad, guys. I've only done this like 3 times with the tablet, so I still forget to put it away. My bad. So you probably didn't see much of what I just did, but yeah. Basically, I just turned on the APU. If you don't know how to fly this aircraft, there are plenty of tutorials on the internet, so don't worry about that. Set a pushback there, press enter, and we'll call him up right away. We can put away that window as well. Back to the overhead, beacon light can go on. Actually, I can do that with my buttons here. That works. Everything else is good to go. We can turn the hydraulic pumps back off now. Back to this overhead panel. All of the fuel pumps can go on. And we can turn off the pack and APU air. For some reason you don't need to have this on to start the engine, so that's good. APU is on, APU generator, all of that is set. Pushback truck is doing its thing.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Oh yeah, one more thing that we need to do. This aircraft has some sort of throttle management system, which is the I forgot what it's called, but that's fine. We'll just turn it on. Set it to takeoff. So we are going to aim for a N1 of 93% and a TGT of maximum of 820 degrees. By pressing on this placard here, you can set all of the bugs. So as you can see, there it is. And it also set the speed bugs for us there.
Please release parking brake.
Yeah, we'll do that right away. I'm going to set our initial speed of V2 plus 10 approximately. Let's take V2 plus
Please
15.
release parking brake.
So we are taking flaps 18 today, so V2 plus 15, that's 175 knots. I really can't focus with this guy constantly hammering on the parking brake here. Close enough, so we'll...
Please release parking
yeah,
brake.
I'm doing it. There we
Parking
go.
brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Alright, we can start our engines, so we'll go back to the overhead panel here. Starting with the outboardmost engine on the right, starter master on, and we'll start engine number 4. Waiting for about 20% on the N2 gauge here. Can see the N1 is rising. There we go, close enough. Add the fuel, and now we should see a rise in N1, as well as the TGT, and also a rise in fuel pressure and temperature. It's pretty quiet in the cockpit, I must say. You don't really hear the engines that much until takeoff. Not sure about that, but I think this aircraft was called the whistle jet, so it's probably for a reason then. So we have a pretty much good start on engine number 4. Let's wait for it to stabilize until before we start engine number 3. There we go. Selector can go to engine number 3, same process. Pushback truck is still doing its thing. There we go, 20%.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Roger. There we
Parking
go.
brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Engine number 3 has almost stabilized there. Can remove the pushback window there.
Ground. You may disconnect.
There we
Okay,
go.
sir. Clear to disconnect.
Continuing
Pin has been
with
removed.
engine number
See
2.
you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
And there's 20%. We'll monitor the engine start once again. It's a pretty warm day as well here in Belgium. So got my water bottle here next to me. I think I'm going to need it because I had to close the window in order to not have any outside sounds interfere with the video. So that's why it's getting pretty warm here with my PC running at full throttle here. So yeah. And then lastly engine number 1 as well. Takes quite a while to start the engines in this aircraft, but yeah, we have double the amount as in the CRJ or 737, so yeah. And there's 20% once again. All the parameters are rising, that's good to see. And there we go, we have 4 good running engines. Gen 1 and Gen 4 can go on, and we can turn off the APU generator. Or maybe we leave it on for now, I don't know. Starter master can go, or the selector can go off, starter master off. Okay, so now the generators are connected, so that means we can... we'll just leave the generator on. The APU is supposed to stay on during the takeoff, so we'll leave that as it is. Engine air can go on, as well as the pack 1 and 2. Everything else is good to go. Taxi lights can go on, as well as the runway exit lights. Anything else? Let's go to the upper overhead panel. Yeah. The engine 2 and 3 pumps can go on, as well as the PTU. And we can set the AC pump to auto. Everything else should be good for now. Let's do a quick flight control check here before we depart. So one thing I've noticed about this aircraft is the roll movements on the yoke are very smooth, as you can see. But I feel like the elevator movements are a bit... how should I say it? The frame rate seems to be a bit lower, especially when you like do this. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I don't know if that's just me or it's a bug, I don't know, but we'll see when the update drops for this aircraft. Flaps can go to 18, so that will be 1 notch. And again, I don't know if this is a feature of the aircraft, but for some reason the aircraft trims itself way down, and I have no idea why it's doing that. It trims all the way down, but I feel like we need a bit more trim in takeoff, so I'm just going to set it where it was approximately. So you need a lot of trim in this aircraft, I must say, so somewhere there should be good. Spoilers are retracted, everything else is set, so I think we are good to go. So release parking brake, give it a bit of throttle to get moving here. Probably also something we can do, or we'll do that once we get in the air, is turn on the yaw damper as well. That's important to be able to turn on the autopilot. So this aircraft taxis pretty much on idle thrust, it seems, so we'll just leave it there. There's a nice little 747, actually 2 747s there. Very nice to see with the model matching all of that. Approaching runway 07 left here, so we'll check for any incoming traffic. We are obviously offline today, so we won't be seeing any traffic normally, but yeah. Landing lights and strobe lights are on, and we can cross the runway. So in my previous video we did our first flight on the VATSIM network, but because this aircraft is still very new to me and very old and not really ideal for online flights, I decided to do this flight offline instead. But in the future we'll probably do this type of flying online as well, and we'll be doing a lot of VATSIM flights in the 737 that should come out tomorrow actually, so yeah, that's definitely something to look forward to. But for today's flight, we are just going to do it without ATC, just to put a little bit less pressure on me. Landing lights can go back off as well. Back to taxi lights. So here we are coming up on that little shortcut I was talking about. No idea if the actual aircraft at this airport use this taxiway all that much, but just for the sake of time we are going to use it today. And you do actually need to pay attention to your speed when you turn like this. Like so, that's good enough. Here we have the probably the most beautiful part of this whole scenery, which is the Brussels Airport logo on the terminal building there. Always nice to taxi past this taxiway here. I don't think the airsoft scenery, or the one that was recently released, looks a bit better than this one, but for now this scenery will do just fine. I don't really remember who made this scenery exactly, but yeah. Actually, I need to take a look here which taxiway is next, so we'll just take the next right here onto the inner taxiway. Not really following the lines there, but yeah. Looks like we have another C-17 over there and also a Emirates 777. Very nice. And there over to our right we have the TUI hangar there where they store all of their 787s for maintenance and all of that. Very nice to see. I went there once for a information session about the pilot program that they have. So very interesting stuff there. Landing lights and strobe lights are coming back on there. And we'll cross runway 07 right here. Again, make sure that there's no incoming traffic anywhere, which there isn't. And then it's just a little bit more further down the taxiway, and then we'll be at runway 01. The engine sounds are very nice in this aircraft, as you'll hear in just a moment probably. So here we are at the holding point. We'll stop around here. There's no stop sign for some reason, but yeah. Landing lights are still on, that's great. Strobe lights are on as well. We'll notify
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
cabin there. APU can stay on for now. Everything else is good to go. Can turn on the transponder as well, which we should have done a bit earlier, but that's fine. And now the TCAS should be on and the cabin is secure according to the flight attendant. That's great. Cabin secured for takeoff. That's fantastic. So that means we can go ahead and take off. So parking brake released. No traffic to the left. And no traffic to the right. So don't expect the best departure from me. I'm still learning this aircraft as we speak. So yeah, probably won't be too pretty, but we have a pretty light wind. So that should make it a little bit easier. Basically, we'll just climb out to 1000 feet and then accelerate and retract the flaps and all of that. So yeah, here we go, guys. Advance the throttles to about 40%. Wait for them to stabilize. There we go.
TMS sets takeoff.
There's actually no auto throttle, so you have to set the throttle yourself.
Power set, flex achieved.
Take off first.
Speed alive for both sides. 80 knots cross-checked.
Bit of a right crosswind here. States.
V2.
Don't know what that warning was
Positive
about.
right to climb, gear up.
Yep, gear is coming up. We'll fly our heading here and try to trim out the aircraft as best as we can. So we are having to use a lot of back trim here. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the autopilot here. Let's climb a bit more. We are above the 700 feet mark, so we'll turn towards 080 degrees. And we'll probably go ahead and turn to the Nikki VOR about now. Switch to vertical speed mode as well here, and we'll slow down the aircraft now. Have to use a lot of vertical speed here. It's quite a slow process, but we're getting there. About 500 feet per minute should be good.
VFTO, safe height speed, select flaps.
Can retract the flaps. And we'll set our speed back to 250 knots now. And while that's doing its thing, we can go direct to the Nikki VOR, and we'll switch to LNAV, like so. Monitor the speed here. There we go, switch to IAS mode. Now the aircraft will fly, pitch the aircraft for 250 knots. There we go, that's a bit of a better departure than I did yesterday, so that's improvement. That's what we like. Runway turn-off lights can probably be turned off now. And we can also turn off the APU, along with the generator in a moment. Actually going to test if... oh yeah, we can also... We are going to assume that ATC has given us a clearance to our cruising altitude, so we'll set the altitude back to flight level 310, and we'll arm the altitude as well by pressing that button. And now the aircraft will level off at 31,000 feet. But as I was saying, I'm going to test in a moment, once we reach 10,000 feet, if the vertical speed on my Bravo throttles actually work. Because as you just saw, the process by clicking this button here is quite slow. There is something that if you bind a certain key on your yoke with something with afterburner or something like that, you can actually momentarily turn off the autopilot and set the pitch yourself, but I haven't tried it out yet. So that's why I'm using vertical speed at the moment, but I'm going to check if the Bravo throttle actually works a little bit better for that. But yeah. At the moment we are safely climbing away. Pretty clear skies here above Belgium. We'll try to find a nice wing view here. There we go. Very nice view here from the wing. There's the airport that we just departed from. And my home airport actually is right over there, as you can see. That's Antwerp International Airport, and I live quite close to that, so that's probably one of my favorite airports in all of Belgium. There we go, 10,000 feet. Let me check here if vertical speed actually works. Seems like it does. That's nice. So I'm just changing the vertical speed with my Bravo throttle switches here, and it's actually working, so that's actually very nice to see. And we'll set the speed to about 219 knots, should be good. Like so. We'll wait for the aircraft to accelerate to that speed. In the meantime, it's still tracking along our flight plan. Here we go, IS mode. And you do need to kind of reset the switches on the when you use vertical speed, but it does work well enough, so that's great. Let's see here if the aircraft is still oh yeah, landing lights can go off now, as well as the taxi lights. And we'll check if the aircraft is still flying the appropriate flight plan here, which it is. It should make a right turn soon, and then we'll be on our way to Bergen. Yeah, one thing I also forgot, we should have probably reduced the throttle a little bit for climb power, but you're supposed to increase it every 5,000 feet anyway, so it's probably not a very big deal. But that's something to keep in mind next time. I think the climb power was something like 88% and 1 or something like that. I can't really remember, but for now it's good. We have a nice steady climb going on for us here. So during this climb out, I just really quickly want to take the time to give you guys a little announcement. Sorry. So I've given this announcement in the previous video as well, but now it's a little bit more fun to do because it's face to face. So yeah, I've recently made a Discord server for the channel. So if you would like to join that and meet some other like-minded aviation enthusiasts, you are more than welcome to do so. It would be very nice to see the server fill up a bit, and once we get a couple of people in there, we'll definitely be doing things like doing group flights and landing competitions and all of that, so it will be great fun. So be sure to head over to the link in the description below and go ahead over to that Discord server. Do let me know if the server address doesn't work, because I have had some problems with the link in the past because it expired after 7 days, but now normally the link in the description should be one that doesn't expire at all. So if it doesn't work, do let me know in the comment section, because then I'll fix it right away and then you can join. But yeah, I just quickly wanted to say that in the beginning of the video instead of after we land, because most people probably don't really make it to that part. But yeah. Also, if you haven't already, do be sure to follow me on social media as well. I only have Instagram, but yeah, I put up a lot of content over there as well. Sometimes sneak peeks of upcoming videos. And with the 737 and Mad Dog and also the Phoenix A320 that are all coming up, I will definitely be posting a lot more on there as well as on YouTube. I'll be doing the live streams in the future and all of that, so a lot of nice things are coming up for the channel. So yeah, I'm really excited for that, and I hope you guys are too. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to get out of the way before we get to the cruise and the descent and all of that. So we'll probably be able to put this to sync mode now, and we'll just leave the throttle where it is. That's fine. The cabin is in fact pressurizing, and we shouldn't worry about anti-ice or anything like that, because there isn't a cloud in sight anywhere, which is very nice. So we are passing 20,000 feet, probably The seatbelt signs can be turned off now. Let the passengers walk around a little bit, you know, stretch their legs a bit. I imagine this isn't probably the most large aircraft of them all, but yeah, still probably pretty comfortable, I assume. Oh yeah, I forgot we're flying we're flying cargo today, so there aren't any passengers at all, but we'll just assume we're some other pilots are tagging along back in the cabin there, so yeah. So for now I'll probably cut the video right here so you guys can enjoy the cruise phase a little bit, and I'll see you guys back at the top of descent. Hello everyone and welcome back once again to the flight deck. I hope you enjoyed that little cruise phase that we had there. We are currently, as you can see, 28 nautical miles away from our initial arrival waypoint. So this seems like a very good time to brief our arrival very quickly. So let me just grab the charts once again. So here's our arrival that we are going to fly. We are currently inbound to the Badab waypoint. And from there we are going to start our descent towards 6,500 feet, where we need to be at a maximum of 220 knots and below 8,000 feet. After that we are going to follow this little DME arc-ish flight plan to the Godit waypoint, where we need to be at or above 4,000 feet. From there we are going to fly the ILS approach with the Godit transition, again max 220 knots, to the Idava waypoint, where we need to be at around 3,000 feet, and at that point we are going to intercept the ILS. to a minimum altitude of 218 feet. That's our decision height. ILS frequency is right over here with a course of 350 degrees. In case of go around, we are going to climb on track 350 to Irdaf and enter a holding at 3000 feet. Transition altitude is around 7000 feet, so we'll take that into account. And that's everything we need to know for the approach. After landing, we are going to vacate to the right. And we are probably going to taxi to a remote stand in this area right here somewhere. Don't know if there's even a cargo ramp at this airport, so we'll just park either here or somewhere around here, but yeah, that should be good. So during the cruise phase, I've already calculated what our top of descent should be, and it should be around 9.3 nautical miles away from the Badap waypoint, so we'll keep an eye on that. We are getting quite close now, and we'll set our altitude that we want to fly, which was 6,500 feet. Taking quite a long time to get there. There we go. Like so. That's set. I will turn the seatbelt sign back on now. And we'll get ready to start our descent. So there's 9.5 nautical miles. We'll select vertical speed mode and we'll push the nose of the aircraft down. We'll try that again here. For some reason it doesn't really want to work that great for us today, but maybe we'll just oh boy. Altitude arm, and we'll just go to IAS mode then. So don't really know why the vertical speed mode didn't want to work for us there, but we'll just get the aircraft to a descent rate of 2000 feet per minute approximately. That should be good, I think. And once we reach that, we'll probably go ahead and switch to vertical speed mode and just use the switch in the aircraft itself instead of the honeycomb throttle switch. So still pulling back on the throttle to keep us at about 2000 feet per minute descent rate. Almost having to go to idle here to keep our descent going. There we go, seems to be almost stable there. Like so, altitude has been armed. We'll also go ahead and set the ILS frequency right about now. So like I showed you guys, it was 110.5. Like so, that's in there, and the course was 350 degrees. There we go. That's programmed in. Don't need to set it on the other VOR as well. One will do fine, I think. And we'll also set our decision altitude, which is 218 feet, so we'll take 220 then. Like so. And we are now on our way towards 6,500 feet there. Nice and stable descent we got. And everything else should be good for now. We'll sync up the heading bug as well. And maybe now we can switch over to vertical speed instead and control the descent that way. So the first altitude restriction is at Octos, which is the next waypoint where we need to be above flight level 90, which will definitely be. It's in 5 miles and we are still at flight level 247, so everything's good. For some reason the landscape here is now divided into no snow and a lot of ice and snow here. Don't know why. It seems a little bit abrupt. I would love to see a more gradual change in the landscape, but yeah. That's how it is, and maybe that will be changed in a future update, I don't know, but yeah. Or maybe it's just supposed to be like that, who knows. If you're from this area, do let me know in the comment section if it's actually like that. We can clear that out as well. There's our next altitude restriction. Above 6,500 and below 8,000 feet. Let's also take a look at the weather at our destination airport. If it is already in the list, that is. There we go, Flesland. So, we have a wind of 240 degrees at 8 knots, so a bit the same wind as in Brussels during our departure. Few clouds at 5,000 feet, temperature 10 with a dew point of 0, and altimeter is 1030, so I'm going to actually note that down in the FMC here. And other than that, no significant weather remarks. The wind at, I guess, 1200 feet is 270 at 11 knots. Okay, so we have a bit of a higher wind at first, and then once we get a little bit lower, the wind should change direction a little bit and also get a little bit slower. But yeah, we'll keep that in mind. The aircraft is still nicely flying the approach here, or the arrival, I should say. Looks like we are going to make the altitude restriction, so far it's looking pretty good for us. Seems like the 2,000 feet per minute rule does work pretty nicely. And I'm also going to decrease the speed bug already to 250 knots, because we're getting quite close to 10,000 feet now. There we go. Other than that, everything seems to be set correctly for our approach. There we have the ILS coming to life there. So far the ILS has always worked for me in this aircraft, but this is only my third flight with it, so yeah, we'll see how this goes, but normally we shouldn't encounter any issues. We are probably going to have to use a bit of spoilers in a second. So, idle power. Let's use a little bit of air brake here. That's something really nice about this aircraft, I think. is the air brake at the end here. Looks pretty fragile, but it actually is able to withstand quite a lot of force from the wind here. Pretty nice. Just slowing down to 250 knots now. Landing lights can go back on as well. Seatbelt signs are on, that's great. Aircraft is actually doing a pretty nice job at flying this flyplane here, and we are just slightly above our altitude restriction, so we'll increase the descent rate just a little bit more, since we actually had to be below 8,000 feet at this point. And there we have 215 knots as well. So far everything's going pretty well. Oh yeah, we also had to be at 220 knots actually. So we'll set that as well. Slow down a little bit more. And since we've passed the altitude restriction, we can now continue our descent to 4,000 feet. Also remember to arm the altitude, like so. And we can decrease the descent rates, I think, just a little bit. We are below the glide slope, as you can see, so as long as we are below that, we should be pretty good. A little bit bumpy here, it seems. And we'll also set the altimeter now. Oh, I just noticed we never set the altimeter to standard as well during our flight, so my bad. The altimeters are set. Can further decrease the descent rate. Oh, don't want to zoom out. That's something that is probably the most difficult about this aircraft, is changing the vertical speed. I wish that would be a little bit easier in this aircraft, that it would have some sort of slider for the vertical speed instead of down there. That's not really that handy, so I might look into that other way with the sync motor, or whatever it's called. There we go, turning towards the coded waypoints, which is our initial approach fix. Just going to check. Okay, I don't have the charts on the screen, that's good. Also going to start the recording for the replay here, so I don't forget that as well. And we can increase the thrust again, because we are leveled out here at 4,000 feet. Still maintaining a good distance from all the terrain. And the airport should be somewhere around here in this area. We are going to make a left turn soon, and then another right turn, and the airport should come into view then. As you can see, we are to the right of the localizer. Going to set our next altitude of 3,000 feet as well. I'm curious to see how well this aircraft will intercept the localizer. That's something I haven't really tried out yet. It's a pretty steep intercept angle as well, so this is a very good test for the aircraft, that is. So far it has handled the entire arrival quite well, so I'm pretty optimistic about it. Can probably start our descent towards Godit now. After we start making our left turn. No visual with the airport yet. There we go. There's the left turn. I'm going to start the descent right away. Actually, I'm going to use IAS mode for this. Just because that's a bit easier to use, I find. And once we are established on this course here, I'm going to change to localizer mode. Arm the altitude as well before we forget. There you go, switch over to heading mode and switch over to the other navigation mode, and then we'll select VOR log. Now it's armed and it should intercept anytime now.
Localizer captured.
Okay, it's turning towards the localizer, that's fine. Nice and early as well, that's what I like to see, and we'll also arm the glide slope.
Glide slope armed.
So what's our VREF today? We are going to land with flaps 33, so it will be 123 knots, and we'll take 5 knots above that, so 128.
Glide slope's alive. 1 dot to go.
We'll like so, there should be good.
Glide slope captured.
That's captured the glide slope as well, that's great. And we can almost select the first notch of flaps as well. Gonna have to use a bit of air brake for that, I guess. The aircraft has overshot the localizer just a little bit, but that's fine. We were still kind of fast for it. But the aircraft is...
Speed checked below 205. Select flaps 18.
Flaps 18.
Speed check below 205. Select gear down.
And we are going to select gear down now because we are getting quite close and we kind of need the drag. Runway turn-off lights can go on as well. And we have notified the cabin. Next notch of flaps. There we go. So, aircraft is doing a pretty good job at keeping us on the glide slope and all of that. And we'll select flaps full.
Established on the ILS.
And I'm gonna go ahead and take over from the aircraft. There's our ref speed. It's pretty easy on the speed, this aircraft. That's something I really like about it. So we are pretty much trimmed out, stable on the approach. Stable speed, flaps are full, gears down, 3 green, lights are set. Go around altitude is set as well, we are good to go. Now just keep us on the localizer here. And on the glide slope we are just a tad high, but that's fine. Speed is still looking good. Aircraft is very responsive as well on the controls, which is nice. And it does feel like you're actually flying an airliner at the same time, so Really good job of JustFlight here. Air brake is also retracted, which is good for landing. Checked. Just a little bit high.
Plus 100. Minimums.
Continuing.
$50, $40, $30, $20,
Bit of a float.
$10.
Ground idle. Brake pressure C.
And we bounced there a little bit, but that's fine. And we'll
Yellow.
extend the air brake.
80 knots.
No auto brake in this aircraft, so you have to brake manually as well, and also no
knots.
reversers. So you are purely braking on air brake and the manual brakes. So we'll vacate the runway right here. Bit of a long landing, but that's fine. I'm still learning the aircraft. Would have been nice to land a little bit softer at the end there. Should have pulled a little bit harder, but that's fine. Flaps can be retracted as well as the air brake. Flight directors can go off. And we'll make a right turn here. At least we didn't crash the aircraft, right? So, as they say, every landing that you can walk away from is a good landing or something like that. So, I'll take it. Now we need to figure out where we are actually going to park this aircraft. So we'll go straight ahead to the terminal area, and then we'll find a good place to park our aircraft. And then we'll also watch the replay, which should be pretty nice. No longer need a radio here. And we can go ahead and start the APU right away. No need to wait. I will make a left turn here and park somewhere over there. Should be good. Oh yeah, landing lights and strobe lights can go off, obviously. We also don't need the runway turn-off lights anymore. Sorry, little car here, but you're in my way. No idea if this actually is the cargo ramp, but we'll just go with it. And we'll just put ourselves right over here. Looks like we have a marshaller as well, which is very nice. Telling us to go left here and then straight ahead. Just a little bit further, come on. There we go, close enough. We'll set the parking brake, which is set, and we'll go ahead and check that all of the APU is running, which it is. Generator is engaged, so we can go ahead and shut down all of the engines.
Going through, doors to manual and cross-check.
Go. Fuel pumps can go off, as well as the engine air. We'll turn on the APU air for now. Everything else is set. Beacon light can go off. Oh yeah, probably need to turn that off. Back down here, seatbelt sign can go off as well. Other than that, everything looks pretty good. Hydraulics can go off as well. So there we go, guys. Welcome at Bergen International Airport. I think that's what it's called here. Flesland Airport, whatever you want to call it. Was a pretty nice approach, I think. Should probably stop my flight on Volanta here. Let's see what our landing rate was. It was probably not really the softest landing. Minus 122 feet per minute, at least according to Volanta. I think the flight overlay set a somewhat different landing rate, but I didn't get to see that, so what you guys did normally. But yeah, a landing G-force of 1.08, which is not too bad, I guess. But yeah, and a block time of 2 hours and 11 minutes with a total distance of 619 nautical miles. So yeah, that's everything for Volanta. Let's take a look at this replay, shall we? Which is also a very fun part about every flight. Also, if you want to download the scenery for Bergen Airport, you can download it for free at flightsim.to. A link will be in the description below, as always. And this livery actually comes with the aircraft itself, so if you are a big TNT fan like me, you can, if you buy the aircraft, this livery will be included. So yeah, let's take a look at this replay, shall we? So guys, there we have the replay. As you can see, it was a pretty hard landing, a bit harder than what Volanta told me with the 122 feet per minute. It was actually a 333 feet per minute landing rate, which is considerably harder than I thought. But yeah, I'm still learning the aircraft, so I'm learning from my mistakes, and next time I will do a better job, or at least try, at holding the flare a little bit better. But yeah. So guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts down below. I have some nice ideas for the channel when I get my hands on the 737 and Mad Dog, so definitely stay tuned for that as well. If you want to stay connected to the channel in the meantime, you are more than welcome to join our Discord server, where I keep you posted on all of the upcoming content, and it's a great place to meet other like-minded aviation lovers. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. For now, happy flying, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!